Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're just seeing us for the first time, you are welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, you are also welcome. So today we are going to be learning how I made this exaggerated sleeve for this my simple off shoulder top. If this is something you would like to know, let's get into the video. Okay, so first of all, I have this fabric here. It's actually a satin fabric, but it's a different kind of satin, not the regular bale or roll satin. So I have two strips measuring 12 inches width, and the length is about 55 inches. Okay, so I have two pieces of it. One I ironed my stay on it, and the other is left bare. So the one that is bare, you are going to bring your crinoline. Here I'll be using the 1-inch crinoline and sew from one end to the other. I had to use masking tape on the crinoline to avoid poking. Then I equally stitched down or pinned down a strip of hemming gum that is also as long as the crinoline. Now the essence of the hemming gum is, by the time I'm done stitching, when I want to iron it to stick very well without the crinoline having some kind of leaving some kind of gap. You know how crinoline does. So the hemming gum is really helpful. So as I stitched, I left around half an inch before I placed my crinoline. So I'm done stitching the crinoline. I'll be using ½ inch now to join the two pieces together, the one that has the stay and the one that I stitched the crinoline on. So the one that has the crinoline is at the top and the other is at the bottom. Okay, so after stitching, I went over to the ironing table, and this is me trying to iron this flat. So I didn't really use so much of a heat because I know I will still pull it out to finish up with the other side. So I just needed it to be flat a bit. So using a lot of steam will make the crinoline stick to the other part. So here I have the two pieces joined together. You can see the one that has a stay and the one that does not have the stay. So I'll still open up to the side that does not have the stay. Here I have carefully marked out 2.5 inches lines into 3. Okay, and there I'll be stitching my ridgeline bone, that is the sewable bone. I have 2.5. I'll be sewing the sewable bone on those 3 lines. So before you start sewing your ridgeline bone, you can as well use your masking tape to tape the tip, and do not start directly at the beginning or from the beginning of your fabric. Just give it a little space of about 1 inch. Okay, so here I am finishing up with the 3rd ridgeline bone on the lines that I have marked out. So this is what the outcome looks like. You can now take this to your ironing table and iron on a low heat just to make the ridgeline bone more straight. After ironing, you can go ahead and fold in the two pieces, that is the part having the stay and the part having the bone. Just fold it up right sides facing each other, and this time around we are going to close it up with our crinoline stitched down also. Okay, so remember we are equally using our hemming gum, which will help to relax the bone by the time we are done. So as you stitch, leave out ½ an inch allowance before you place your crinoline and just stitch it up. Remember, you're sewing right sides facing each other. The part with the stay is facing down, the part with the ridgeline bone is facing up. So what we want to do now is just to close up the length and then turn it out from the opening on around the width of the fabric. Okay, Now that you're done sewing, you can go ahead and put your hand from the hole and then pull it out, turning the right side out. Okay, so when you are done, you can take this to your ironing table to iron everything flat. By this time, you can iron the edges very well so that the hemming gum will help the crinoline relax properly by gluing on both sides of the fabric or the particular part that has the crinoline. You understand what I'm saying, right? Okay, so just give it a very good press so that everything will lay very flat. So cut out a piece of fabric. Here I am using 7.5 inches by 3 inches. So I'll close up the side, turn inside out, and then I'll stitch this down, making the seam to be at the center. Okay, so just stitch this down, creating a little hole where we are going to be passing our bone strip into. So you can go ahead and turn this also inside out, and then you bring the boned or the structured um sleeve, whatever you choose to call it at this moment, and then pass it through the hole, making sure that it is at the middle. The band is at the middle. So just ensure that the band is at the center, so you can use your hand and arrange it as much as you can. Just take your time and let it form the way you want it to look by the time you are done. So once you're done with this, you can go ahead and bring up your off shoulder top. I actually added a band to help the sleeve relax. Okay, so you can now stitch from center to the zip, and that is it. Okay, so I am trying to pin this first to my dress form so that I can see how it actually looks before I go ahead and pin. So this is how the back is. I folded in the loose end because I didn't stitch it down, so I had to tuck it in. Okay, and then pin it along the line of the zip. If you are going by this, make sure that it starts and stops at the same point. So this is actually what I wanted to achieve, but in the end it was a bit tight. I couldn't really move my hand freely as I would have loved to, so I had to stitch it up to like half of the whole length of the sleeve at the back. Okay, I didn't take it down to where my hand is at the moment, so that I can actually zip it up myself. It was comfortable, but it wasn't too comfortable for me. So if you want it to rest or to be stitched from the beginning of the zip to where it is, as you can see it now, you can increase the length. You can make it up to 60 or up to 62, so that you have more gap around your arm area in case you want to shout praise the Lord. Okay, so that is it, and this is the result. You just have to stitch down the necessary parts. I stitched from one part of the band to the other at the back, and that was just it. Okay, so if you find this helpful, do leave a comment. The skirt is actually a very lovely one. If you want to know how I achieved the design on the skirt, please do let me know. If you have not subscribed, kindly do so. Thank you. Bye.